Imagine coming down to Florida on vacation, right around the Orlando area. You're retired, you're in your 70s, you're with your brother and one of your best friends, three of you. You come outside in the morning and you see this piece of crap. Ahmad Jihad Boja. His middle name is actually Jihad. And he winds up shooting you dead. A triple murder for absolutely no reason, no motive. Your family hears this information and you're like, why? Aside from the fact that he's a jihadi. Then you find out in 2021 that he actually shot at people and then was released for insanity purposes. Now, the only thing that makes this worse and more disgusting is that when you look at this guy's arrest record, he's marked down as being white. How do you tell me that this jihadi is white? Now, on top of that, to make matters even worse, his middle name, Jihad, is being scrubbed by the majority of news outlets, including FoxNews.com, who refers to this guy, like the other media outlets, as a Florida man. Let me tell you something. I'm a Florida man. That right there is a jihadist, a Muslim jihadist. Don't get the two confused. Wording means everything. And the way they're wording this is to try to make it sound like a white Florida man killed 3 white men on vacation. No. People like me, white Florida men, don't name themselves jihad, and we don't kill innocent people for no reason, but they do. Somebody tell me in the comments section, why do we need people like this? Who wants this?
Who wants this? I don't. I have been banging the drum for decades that this is what was coming down the pipe. My name is JJ Carrell. This is my show, The JJ Carrell Show. This enrages me. This should enrage every American. Because here's my theory. It's not even a theory. Here's the factual truth. If these people were not in our country, they would not be able to kill, rape, rob, and fraud us. Do you understand? Do you understand that everything that is happening to the United States of America is because we allowed it to happen? We asked for it. We asked for our women to be raped, our children to be kidnapped and sexually assaulted. We begged to bring in people that want to kill us and murder us. That brother that this man was talking about, those brothers, they were 70 years old. They were at the end of their life, like they saved and they did things right, and they were on vacation. To be killed by a filthy, dirty Muslim. And this gentleman is 100% correct. Words matter. And I choose my words very carefully, and I own everything I say. He is a filthy, dirty Muslim. Islam is not compatible with the West, period. Judaism is not compatible with the West. It is not. The West is a Christian nation, a Christian landmark, a Christian area from New Zealand, Australia, Europe, Canada, and America, and Russia. You can throw Russia in there. They're more West than any of us are actually now. Those two religions are not compatible with the United States of America. We are not a Judeo-Christian nation. We're not. In fact, if you go back, it's about 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we began to see the Judeo in the Judeo-Christian. Those are oxymorons. Jesus was a Jew. The Jews were God's chosen people. Jesus was a fulfillment of the Old Testament, creating a new people called Christians that believed in Christ. The ones that do not believe in Christ are not God's chosen people. And because we created some country in 1948 by some very interesting people, does not make that God's chosen land. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of allowing 2% of the population to rule over us. And I'm tired of importing tens of millions of jihadis. The guy's middle name is Jihad. Why was he excluded? Why was he not excluded from coming in? Look, I'm in immigration. I've been in immigration for 3 decades now. He had to present himself either to a border patrol agent, to a ICE officer, customs officer, something. But I would guarantee you this guy came through Biden's time, where they let everyone go. As all of my buddies would call me, frantic, scared, saying I'm releasing terrorists into America. And this is one of them. Who do we have to blame for this? We have to blame us. We are our government. Are we awakening from our slumber? Yes, we are. Are we waking up fast enough? No. Did we wake up fast enough for those 3 people, those 3 white men that were vacationing in Florida, killed by, as the media says, a Florida man? Does that guy look like a Florida man to you? Or does he look like a dirty Muslim from a dirty third world country? Let's just be honest, guys. The idea for decades, for almost 100 years now, that you can import third world savages that come from incestuous countries where they marry and mate with their first cousins, creating all kind of mental deficiencies to retardation and other birth defects. People that have the IQ of retards, literal retards, 70 and below. And we bring people from Latin America, in the Middle East, into America with subhuman IQ levels. And we are going to somehow integrate them into the United States of America, into white Western culture. It is impossible. It is not going to happen. They do not have the ability. They don't have the brain power. And more importantly than all that, they don't even desire to be like us. They want to take what we have created. My whole life, my father, who was a great man, would tell me, son, we're not all the same. Don't you? And I remember this from a young age. I have just flashes of my youth, right? I just remember certain things. And one thing I remember is my father telling me at a young age, we are not all the same. Don't ever believe that crap, son. We are not all the same. If we are all the same, then there would be kumbaya moments across the globe right now, and everybody would have what we have. But they don't. They live in squalor. They don't even have paved roads. They don't have electricity. They don't have running water. They defecate wherever they live outside. There's no sanitation. They burn their trash. They don't have clothes. They have huts. They don't even have 2 stories. If they do, the buildings fall down. They're decrepit. Don't ever. My dad is a young man. He had to be 30, maybe 35, and I was 7 or 8. Young, big, strong man looking at me, telling me, we are not all the same, son. Period. That stuck with me, and I didn't understand it, right? You don't understand things when you're that young. But I really understood it as I got older, and I saw things, and I'm going to show you. And I'm going to show you a video, and then another video, and then another video, another video. But I want you to understand when you watch these videos, singularly video that I'm going to show you, I want you to understand there are millions of these videos I can choose from. Not thousands, not tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, millions of these videos. There's that much atrocities, from rape, murder, kidnapping, pedophilia, theft, fraud. The amount of crimes committed by these third world savage retards is in the millions a year. Let me repeat that so you have some context. The number of criminal acts by these savages is in the millions annually. Whenever I am now in law enforcement, I get someone's FBI rap sheet and I see 30, 40, 50 crimes arrested. I'm looking at the guy standing right in front of me, and I know on the bare conservative, if I was conservative, not liberal, not trying to make it worse than it is, just a conservative estimate, whatever crimes that man or woman standing before me was arrested for, on the conservative side, I could times it times 10. He committed another 450 crimes that he was never arrested for. Because you have to be in a world of fantasy to believe that the police are arresting everybody every single time they commit a crime. That's absurd. There are 600,000 police officers, more or less, state, local, and federal, in the United States of America. 600,000. Days off, holiday off, sick leave, training. You may have 150,000 every day to manage 350 million plus 100 million foreign nationals, illegal and legal. 450 million versus 150, let's say a third, 200,000. And because we don't have a police state, thank God, but we need a police state because we are absolutely in a lawless society where there is no law and order. Why? Why? Because our founding fathers created a government built for white Christians because we are civil. We are kind, we're empathetic, we're sympathetic, we work hard, we believe in individualism, we believe in helping other people, and we believe in self-determination. Our government was built on the foundation of cohesion, of uniqueness and similarities, that we were all praying to the same God. We all had the same skin tone. We all came from relatively the same places, and we all wanted the same things. We don't live in that country anymore. We don't. You may want it as bad as I do. We don't. We don't live in a white country anymore. We live in a nation that has a plethora of colors, that have hundreds of languages and dialects, have multiple gods they pray to, don't believe in any of our social and societal norms, believe in the rape and brutalization of children and women. And yet, where's the feminist? Where's the Code Pink? Where's all of these self-righteous Karens? They're gone. We have a nation built for people like us, and we've brought in people that cannot, on any level, intellectually, spiritually, physically, they have no ability to be like us. And for us to continue this stupid belief that we have been propagandized, that we're all the same, that we're all we need to do is just be more kind and give them more money and be more understanding. Don't be so critical that they're retarded. But they're in my children's school. My children are not learning because we've dumbed it down to the lowest common denominator. And the lowest common denominator is some kid from Somalia that has a giant forehead because he's retarded. And you want me to remain silent? Is that what you want me to do? You want me to remain silent when I'm struggling to make ends meet, but the Somalis are literally, not, this is not hyperbole, are literally driving Ferraris in the snow because they've stolen so much money from us. And I'm supposed to shut up? I'm not going to shut up. I'm never going to shut up. Until I die, I'm not going to shut up. I'm not. And I'm never, ever, as a young man to this time right now, I have never apologized for being white. I'm never going to start now. I'm never going to bend a knee. I'm never going to apologize for the greatness of the United States of America. And I'm never, ever, ever going to demean, diminish, or minimize who and what created this nation. And those would be white Christian settlers from Western Europe. Period. End of story. But the traitors in our government give us this. And you'll hear the story from Fox News. But 4 illegal aliens in Houston that are Uber drivers, they like to kidnap and then rape our women. When I said ours, our women. And until we begin to have that discussion about why are American men, Christian American men, allowing savages to rape our women and do nothing? Any of you savages touch my family, I will. This is not a threat. This is not a threat at all. I will find you and I'll kill you with my bare hands. I'm not going to shoot you. I'm not going to stab you. With my bare hands, I want to feel the life leave your body and then descend into hell. I want to feel it in my hands. I want it to become who I am. And until men start talking like that, we're going to have shit like this happening in our country.
Now, 4 rideshare drivers in the Houston area now facing federal kidnapping and federal sexual assault charges. Authorities have arrested 3 of the suspects. One of the men, however, is still on the run. Brooke Taylor's on that story from Dallas. And Brooke, what do we know?
Hi, Bill. Well, prosecutors say that these cases hit home for so many. We've all used rideshare services and trust the drivers with our safety and our families. Officials say that the drivers who are in the Houston area use similar tactics. After picking up women who were intoxicated, they would change their routes or not let the women get out of the car and then assault them. 4 drivers right here now federally charged in separate cases and face life in prison. According to court records, Barney Flores's DNA was linked to 2 other sexual assault investigations here in Texas and then in California. Court records describe Cesar Martel as a serial rapist. He faces federal kidnapping charges for 2 different victims in 2021 and 2023. 3 of the suspects have been arrested and are in custody, but the 4th right here, Abdu Mikbaki, is on the run and at large. The FBI believes that there are more victims out there.
Unfortunately,
I don't want to hear the FBI. They make me sick. But let's take a look at these guys, okay? Let's just make sure we have an understanding. Everybody see him clearly? So Barney Steve, that is a guy that crossed the border and some border patrol agent couldn't understand what the hell he was saying because he probably spoke some dirty dialect from down south in Indian land, and he just gave him the name Barney Steve and put Flores on the end, so we all know he's illegal. Cesar Martel loves to rape women. He's illegal. Janaka Manatadukada, look at that face. That's a Biden. That someone came under Biden. And then Abdu Yabba Dabba Doo. Why have we allowed these people into our country? Why have we allowed this? Why have we allowed this cancer into our country? Anybody want to explain to me how that happened? Why we would allow that to happen? Because we're gutless. Because we're gutless as a nation. I'm going to show you one more. I'm going to pull this up because I need you to see this. I need you. I've covered this case before, but it's now going to trial or some other issues. This guy, and wouldn't you believe it, his name is Mohammed. Let me play it just so I can get his face
The
up
man
here.
accused of raping a woman while she was unconscious in front of a church here on Nolensville Pike is behind.
Okay. His name is Mohammed. He's in Nashville, Tennessee. He's a Somali. Oh, that's shocking. It's shocking. He's functionally retarded. There's no way around it. You look at him and you know that man has, when he left Somalia, he grabbed the last 4 or 5 brain cells left on the beaches of Somalia. But what he did is he took a young woman an average age or middle aged woman, white woman, of course, and then raped her to death when she was sleeping and unconscious. Do you know how hard you have to, quote, make love to rape someone to death? When did this become okay? When did we just all shrug our shoulders and go, well, Somalis will be Somalis? Here's how if this, God forbid this ever happened to me, I will get on the stand and I will beg for leniency from the court if I can't get to this man in time. If I, like the police get to him before I can, I will be his biggest advocate to get out of prison as soon as he can. Because the moment he gets out that day, I will track him down like the animal he is, and I'll treat him like a wild beast. And this is what's going to happen in this world. If the federal government and the state and local cannot do the job of keeping these savages, getting them all out of our country, and whenever they raise their ugly head, they're arrested immediately and deported, then we're going to have militias in our country. And if you think that's not going to happen, you're a fool. Do I want all this to happen? Do I want vigilantism? Do I want people taking matters in their own hands? No, I don't. I don't. But I'm not an idiot. You just have to look at what the hell's going on in the country. It's going to happen. You have judges releasing these people, releasing them to the streets. Let's all bending, just bear down and watch this and see another retarded Somalian that likes to rape and kill our women.
In bars tonight, but victim advocates tell me he should have stayed behind bars for his previous offenses. These are at least 8 of Mohammed's mugshots. Court records show at least 20 charges starting from 2015 until now. They vary from public indecency, indecent exposure to sexual battery. Almost all were dismissed. The sexual battery charge from 2023 was retired. That means the charge went nowhere, but can be brought back up again by the DA's office. Mohammed does have one conviction. Then MNPD says on August of this year, Mohammed raped 34-year-old Megan Mayo outside a Nashville church multiple times while she was unconscious. Verna Wyatt is a victim rights advocate.
It is a very personal, deviant, evil crime that is devastating and can lead to death.
Metro Police say Mayo was taken to Vanderbilt Medical Center where she died. The Davidson County Medical Examiner's Office tells me the autopsy isn't finished yet, so we don't know the cause of death. Either way, Wyatt tells me Mohammed's track record speaks for itself.
It's just infuriating that we allow people like him to get to a point.
Well, what she's really need to say, and I know she's being kind, when you allow savages from third world shitholes into your country, what do you expect? Do you expect this? You expect that. Look at him. Look at his eyes. There's nothing back there. There's nothing firing. There are no brain cells. There's nothing going on. He's soulless. I saw this throughout my 24-year career. They are soulless. They are animals. They're beasts. They need to stay in their shithole countries. And every single one of these 50 million savages need to be sent back to their shithole countries. I don't care if you're a rapist from Somalia or you're a maid from Mexico. Get out. Get out. This is not your country. You do not get to physically rape and kill our women. You do not get to physically steal our money through fraud. You do not take the benefits that we pay for, and then we can't get them. Look at this guy. I'm going to tell my audience something I told all of my new guys when they came in. And I was either a field training officer or supervisor or a senior leader manager. I would say, you're going to hear stories, sob stories from everybody. I want you to stop hearing them, because I'm going to show you a maid, I'm going to show you a gardener, I'm going to show you all these people, and then I'm going to pull out their wallets and their purses, and I'm going to show you every social benefit. And I want you to understand that they have more disposable income than you do. That there are veterans sleeping under bridges, homeless people sleeping under bridges and streets, but they get Section 8 housing. They get free health care. And then when you look at one of these rapists and murderers, stop looking at one. My audience, stop looking at Muhammad as if he is a singular figure named Muhammad. I want you to look instead of a retarded singular man and understand and replace that man with tens of millions of these rabid animals. That's what's in your country right now. Does that sting? Does that stick? Do you understand what the hell I'm talking about now? That's not hyperbole. That's nothing. 30 million people came into the United States of America under Joe Biden. 30 million. The federal government right now openly admits that it's 25 million. We're splitting hairs. I say it's 30 plus. Before Joe Biden came into office, we were already at 22 million. We're at 52. Some people that I respect are saying the number could reach as high as 70 million of these savages are in our country. What more can I show you? This woman, Catriona Senora Gatata on X. Listen to what this lady's saying, and I love it. And she's saying, normalize all the deportations. Normalize them. Stop acting as if they all don't have to go, because they all have to go.
This is clearly a pattern by the radical left to prevent more deportations, because the left has built their political house of cards on mass immigration, and they don't want to see their voters, their ballot harvesters, their head count be deported. Everything we're seeing, whether it's illegal immigration or rioting or you name it, fraud, it's due to lack of consequences. For decades, we have looked the other way from illegal immigration, from overstaying visas, from working without authorization, from committing identity and document fraud. That's how we got to anywhere from 11 to 20 million illegal aliens before Joe Biden entered the White House. And then he doubled that. Now that the Trump administration is trying to enforce immigration laws, the left doesn't like it. Illegal aliens don't like it. And so they're lashing out. It's kind of like parenting 101. If you're not going to be a parent and discipline your children, when you suddenly do so, kids lash out and have tantrums. We're seeing the adult version of that. We need much more immigration enforcement, many more deportations, not just worst of the worst. We need to normalize deportations. But also, we need consequences to these rioters, to their organizers, and to their funders. We need major, very high numbers of arrests, prosecutions, convictions, and sentencing. This is
Yep. We need it all, and we need it now. We need it to be so normal, like everything about the deportations, the arrest deportations, every single thing has to be normalized. Just like we got normalized to the chaos of Joe Biden, that he released everyone that the Border Patrol. Listen, everyone that got arrested on the border was released. Let me repeat that so you understand. Every single person that was arrested on the border was released into America, to include over 200,000 terrorists, special interest aliens, over 200,000 Chinese nationals, 100,000 of it, at least 100,000 were identified as PLA soldiers, tens of millions of criminal felons, rapists, murderers, drug dealers, pedophiles, low-level criminals, you name it, they're in there. Because the Democrats need it. The black population in America is insignificant now. I just saw something where they've lost in the last 2 years 17% of their population, or the population percentage of population to America. They're insignificant. Black America, you don't matter anymore. You don't matter. You're insignificant. Your black leaders in the black caucus, in the Senate, in the Congress, they voted for your demise. They brought in 50 plus million illegal aliens. The vast majority were Hispanics now that have almost doubled your population. You're no longer the number one minority in our population. You're insignificant. Your population's dying. It's dying because you're killing each other in the streets. You're also killing your babies at an unprecedented rate because we Americans, Margaret Sanger and your Democrats put in Planned Parenthood all through the major metropolitan cities to kill you. Because Margaret Sanger said you are undesirable and you're weeds. Do you know, as I said on Monday, do you know who got the first Margaret Sanger Award? Well, that would be the Reverend Jesse Jackson, the Reverend Martin Luther King. One thing about this show that I do love is even when I'm speaking, I even come to the realization of how powerful it is, how every single thing is connected. Every single thing that's happening is connected. I told you to look at Muhammad, and stop looking at him as a singular figure. I want you to look at what is happening in Philadelphia and tell me that we don't have a problem. That went all the way around, almost 360. That's Philadelphia. That's not Mogadishu. That's not Egypt. It's not Iran. It's not Afghanistan, Yemen. It's not any of the Muslim countries in Africa, Nigeria, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, whatever the hell they call it now. This is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We don't have a problem, America. Are you going to sit here and argue, as I have done on many, many podcasts and speeches? When I have a debate, I ask them, "Are you really going to? This is where you're going to die in this debate. You're going to tell me that is okay? You're going to tell me that diversity is okay? There are women wearing burqas. They're wearing black curtains and orange, bright orange things that make their head look like like they're an alien. Where's the assimilation? When did we think it was okay to import tens of millions of people that hate us? When? When was that moment where we said, you know what? I don't want any more whites. I want all of the third world shithole countries to pour into America. Well, that would be Ted Kennedy and the Hart-Celler Act in 1965. I like this guy, Jesse Kelly. It's a video I want to show you. And he's showing a clip of Jalapal, the Indian, another person. Why do we bring all these Indians into our country? And Jalapal is talking about exactly what we've been saying. And he's like, finally, she gets it. What does she get? She gets the fact that we don't want her or anyone like her here in America anymore. And if you don't know that that's coming, if you don't know that's the sentiment that's growing, not just a slow grow, I'm talking an avalanche, a tsunami of anger, resentment is just taking over America. You can try all you want to propagandize. You can try all you want to minimize and call me and people like me racist and homophobes and xenophobe. It doesn't matter. Those days are gone. You shot your wad. Nobody cares. Men like me never cared, and we definitely don't care now. All the people that were kind of soft and impotent on the fence, they've been brutalized so much they got hardened, and they hate you too. Get out of our country.
She's referencing a Department of Homeland Security tweet or social media post. And it's just talking about deporting foreigners. And she's holding it up and she's upset, but she does make a great point.
Look at this. We'll have our home again. What does that evoke in you when you see this? It literally, when I see it as a Muslimah, as a Palestinian, as a child of immigrants, I see that this is something that is evoking like, I'm not welcome here.
You're right.
Yes. Yes. You're finally getting it. I'm so happy we're finally on the same page. Yes, you're getting this completely. 100%. Yes. Rashida Tlaib. I want you to know I find this so exciting. We don't have very much in common, but we are finally on the same page about something. You're not welcome here. We don't want you here. We want you to be denaturalized and deported. And in fact, hold on. It goes beyond that. Your whole family too. Everybody you know. In fact, if you've ever worked for or with Rashida Tlaib, we don't want you here either. This is awesome. This is wonderful that they're finally starting to get it. I honestly, I heard this. I was so excited.
We'll have our home again. What does that evoke in you when you see this? It literally, when I see it as a Muslimah, as a Palestinian, as a child of immigrants, I see that this is something that is evoking like, I'm not welcome here.
Yes. Yes. And what's more, and this is important, Rashida, now that we're together on something, this is important. I want you to tell some of your friends too. Sri Tandahar, he went on Fox News. He said this.
And you couldn't stand for them because you were playing politics. Is that right? I want this audience
Look,
to know.
I would not stand for this president. I would not stand for this president.
We don't want him here either. Please don't, Rashida, hold on. I don't want to be offensive. I don't want you to think that only applied to you. There are so many millions more just like you. We also don't want them here either. She's referencing a department.
He makes a great point, even though he's doing it in jest. That's how frustrated we are. We want them all gone. I want you to go back in your mind a year ago, 6 months. Hell, I'll even go 6 months. No one talked like this. No one talked like me. No one talked like Jesse Kelly. No one, it was whispers. Now it's open. We want you all gone. We want you denaturalized. No one even knew what that word was 3 months ago. Denaturalized and deported. All of you. You're not welcome. When you hold up that picture or whatever the hell you were holding up there, Rashida Tlaib, you vile, you physically vile looking whatever you are. Yeah, we want our country back. Why? Because we're tired of rapes and murders. We're tired, I'm tired, and we're tired of telling our loved ones, I'm sorry, you can't go down to Kansas City or St. Louis or LA. You're not going down into downtown San Diego without me. You can't go to Phoenix. You can't go downtown Austin or Dallas. Can't go to New York City. Well, why? Well, because, honey, there's savages everywhere, and they're raping and killing everyone. And you're too precious, and Joseph, my son, is too precious to ever be killed by the savages or hurt by the savages, because you know what's going to happen. I'm going to go down there, I'm going to kill all of the savages. Just like Mr. Kelly said, we want them all fucking gone. I don't know how more clear we have to be. I want them all gone. Diversity is not a strength. Diversity is a stage 4 cancer. Cancer. Best way for you to support me is to go to my website or my Substack. You don't want to get a paywall. You don't want to be a subscriber, paid subscriber. That's fine. Times are tough. I get it. That's why I consistently put free articles, videos on there. Then I have a whole nother section for people that support me financially, more different videos, different writings that I do, more in-depth writing, I will say. Kind of both. I kind of go back and forth. jjcarrell.com, jjcarrell.substack.com. Either one, spread the word. Go to YouTube, click on the subscribe, like button, make it impossible for them to continue to suppress me. I went on X today, and somebody showed me a trick to make Grok tell me the truth. And Grok came back and said, yeah, we're suppressing your content. It's too harsh. Okay, it's too harsh. Go to jjcarrell.com, jjcarrell.substack.com, and I want you to please go and shop at the sponsors that promote my show, that help my show continue. And one of those is mypillow.com. I don't promote anything that I don't use. And if you came into our bedrooms, which I better not have anybody come in our bedrooms, but if you come in our bedrooms, you will see about 20 different pillows, all from My Pillow. Sheets from My Pillow, slippers from My Pillow, bathrobes from My Pillow, towels from My Pillow. I love their product because it's good. If it was okay and it still had a great guy like the owner, and it was still made in America, Mike Lindell, and still made in America, I wouldn't promote it. I'm not gonna. I hate their towels. They suck. Their slippers suck. No, that's not how it is. Their product is outstanding. Outstanding. It is made by a patriot named Mike Lindell and by other patriots that are made in America. Shop at mypillow.com. Use promo code JJ. mypillow.com, promo code JJ. I really like that guy, Jesse Kelly. He just kind of just says it like it is. And if you don't like it, you can all go pound sand. I love that. Let me tee this up, okay? Rarely, if ever, did you have anyone, and I would throw me in that category of one of the pioneers talking about this. Once I left the Border Patrol almost 5 years ago, I began writing a book, began writing Substacks, doing interviews, and I have been talking about this for pounding the drum for at least 5 years. And I talked about this, but I had no outlet when I was in the United States Border Patrol because it would have created a nexus, and I would never been able to finish my career, especially in the days of Joe Biden and Clinton and Bush and God bless Obama, right? I would be taken to the woodshed. I didn't have an opportunity. So when I did get my first opportunity, which was day one, I began to speak loudly about all these topics. But I've been talking about them with friends and family and people in groups before we had chat rooms, etc. And I'd be very bold in my discussions. But just recently, this topic of the disintegration of the white population, the intentional destruction and elimination of whites in the Western world, but more specifically in America, is being talked out loud. And it's like a megaphone now. There's no putting this genie back in the bottle. Rashida Tlaib's and all you and that idiot Indian that can't speak hardly at all. It looks like a little gnome. We want you all gone. And if the government doesn't do it, then there will be a rise. There will be a militia rise up or multiple militias to push the hordes of you savages out of our country, and especially out of our government. You illegal aliens, get out. And this man that Tucker Carlson, I'm going to show you Tucker Carlson's interview with this man, Peter Brimlow. This man, during the days when I couldn't speak out, and there were no websites, there were no social media, there was nothing. And this man started I found it, randomly found him in the internet in the early days. And he created this thing called VDARE, VDARE.com. And he was one of the very first people to begin to gather data on immigration. Excuse me, legal and illegal. And they hated him. They hated him. And he is a world of knowledge. And he's talking to Tucker Carlson. And I pulled up this, if I encourage everyone to go to this, it's about an hour, 2 hours interview they had with Mr. Brimlow. But I chose this one because I want you to hear, this is mainstream. Tucker Carlson is mainstream. He has about 17 million followers. His videos get millions and millions and millions of views. He's mainstream. But listen to what they're saying.
I'm a little bit confused just conceptually with the idea that white self-awareness is effectively illegal in the United States, whereas ethnic self-awareness in every other group is encouraged. Like, doesn't make any sense. Speak for myself, I'd rather live in a deracialized world where people think about it less because it does cause problems. But as long as you're encouraging identity politics, why do whites not get to have it? What is the answer?
Well, it's completely hypocritical. It's because the people running the society are anti-white. And they've been able to persuade or intimidate the entire legal system to operate in an anti-white way. Well, anti-white in this case really means anti-American. I mean, because the whites are Americans. That's who Americans are. You know, the people who signed the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, I did know that. And the purpose of the project, like big picture, again, I keep going back to this, but I am a little bit confused because this is the defining fact of our lives, is that whites around the world are being eliminated. And I would like to know why. Do you have any guesses?
As I say, I think, Tucker, I think it derives from emotion rather than a kind of rational calculation. I mean, if you look at what's happened in South Africa, or for that matter, in every big American black city that's majority black, I mean, they can't want it to get into a situation where the water is putrid and nothing works and all that kind of thing. But they do. That what the purpose of the system is what it does, and the purpose of non-white government is to produce non-white government and non-white results. Unless, of course, you're Chinese. I mean, because Singapore's run Japanese. They're run very efficiently.
They are. It's just interesting that people move here because it's a white country, and we
see to run it into the ground. Yes.
Well, all of us benefit, white and non-white benefit alike from systems created by whites because they're more humane, they're more just, they're more fair, and they're much more efficient and cleaner.
There are so many things to pull from that video that would never be spoken out loud 6 months ago. White cities and cultures are cleaner. They're governed well. There's not chaos. There's systems in place. Mr. Brimlow says, well, the blacks in South Africa and the big black cities in America have putrid water, meaning what he was getting at is it just crumbles. It crumbles. You removed all the whites out. You ran us all out. You ran us out of government, out of law enforcement, out of everything, and they're all majority black cities, and our inner cities in America are crumbling. That's not a racial component. That's just a factual component. Race plays it, but this is a factual statement. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like the way I do my hair or the cadence that I speak, but it's just the truth. It's just the truth. And what Tucker Carlson is saying there with Mr. Brimlow, who is an intellectual giant, and I encourage everyone to go watch this video. Do you understand what's happening right now in America? This discussion that was in whispers, you wouldn't even speak it out loud for the fear someone might hear you. It's being spoken out loud with a megaphone. White countries are better than the other countries. Why? Because we create things. We don't have incest. We don't systematically kill each other. We create languages. We create arts and science. We do critical thinking. As my father said, we are all not the same. But we, Americans and the West, have this insatiable appetite to commit suicide and kill us. I'm going to show you another video just to show you how this isn't I'm just making this up. We're in a fight for our lives, America. We're in a fight for our whole existence because the people that are in our country, we've allowed to come in our country, and they hate us. They hate us. Let's listen to someone that really, really hates us. And this was a Yale Medical School invites a Columbia PhD to present on killing white people. Wow, this should be interesting. Let's watch.
I had fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way, burying their body, and wiping my bloody hands as I walked away relatively guiltless. With a bounce in my step, like I did the world a fucking favor. This is the cost of talking to white people at all. The cost of your own life as they suck you dry. There are no good apples out there. White people make my blood boil. Psychological predicament, because white people feel that we are bullying them when we bring up race. They feel that we should be thanking them for all that they have done for us. They are confused, and so are we. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we hear you,
Yes?
sweetheart.
Okay. We keep forgetting that directly talking about race is a waste of our breath. We are asking a demented, violent predator who thinks that they're a saint or a superhero to accept responsibility. It ain't gonna happen. They have 5 holes in their brain. It's like banging your head against a brick wall, just like sure is not a good idea. We need to remember that directly talking about race to white people is useless because we're at the wrong level of conversation. Addressing racism assumes that white people can see and process what we are talking about. They can't. That's why they sound demented. They don't even know they have a mask on. White people think it's their actual face. We need to get to know the mask.
Do you get the point? I could have chose 100 easily. 100 videos, interchanged it. And that was just a simple like search, not even anything deep, just hate whites, enter, boom, 100, 200 videos. What if I changed that around? What if I called Indians like that woman are scammers? They don't work well. The people that the managers that oversee H-1B says they are slackers. They don't do their job correctly. They're always scamming and looking for an angle. I wonder if Yale would invite me to come speak on my experience being a Border Patrol agent and being a best-selling author, et cetera, et cetera. I should call them and ask them if they will allow me that opportunity. But what this woman, this vile woman of color, fails to see because of her blind hatred of white people is this is ending. It's not ending with my generation. It's ending with my son's generation. Generation X doesn't want to hear anything else because they're working their ass off and they're struggling. And they know that all of you savages from the third world are responsible for it all.
Does anyone else just work their ass off for like the last 3 or 4 years for like a college degree, and now you have a job that you hate and you still can't afford life and you're still fucking miserable and you can't pay any of your bills and you can't live in the house that you imagine, and you just feel lied to because you thought that if you just went to college and got a degree you'd be able to afford a house and like things that make you happy, but yet you're still barely can afford groceries or clothes or literally anything that makes you happy at all, and you had to spend the whole entire weekend in your bed because you literally don't have any money to go do anything other, like if you buy food you just can't have an entertainment budget. So I'm just wondering if anyone else is dealing with something like this or if it's just me, because this shit ain't it.
No, sweetheart, this shit ain't it. And I want you to understand, as many of millions and millions of those savages like Mohammed and that vile, ugly Indian woman, there are 100, 200, 250 million beautiful white women like this, and white young men and black young men and Hispanic young men that are working their ass off, and they see that illegals are getting everything. Legal immigrants are getting everything. Our nation is crumbling because the people that run our country, as Mr. Brimlow stated in the Tucker interview, they're anti-Americans that are running our country and they hate us. But that woman, that young, beautiful white woman's rage and her anger and her resentment is going to boil up and it's going to explode, and it is going to be ugly here in America. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to end my show. My show's flying by. I'm looking at my clock. And I want to end it with someone that I don't agree with everything, but I don't agree with much anything that everyone says. But I like this guy because he just says it like it is. And I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care if you hate this kid, this young man, much younger than me. Nick Fuentes. What he's saying right here is absolutely
but it is at the
spot on. Diversity is a cancer. And our government, our country was set up for us, not for anyone else. It takes a very special, unique, different set of people to be governed in a republic. You cannot bring in third world people from shithole countries that are having sex with their cousins and giving birth to retarded people and allow them into our country and think it's all going to be okay.
At the end of the day, this is a problem of diversity. Diversity brought these problems here. We have this dissonance because we have an open society. We have self-government. Yeah, that worked when it was all white people. Don't tell me about education. That worked for white people. Self-government, open society, that worked when it was just white people. Now that we got to share this space with Africans and Indians and Chinese and Salvadorians and Venezuelans, it doesn't work anymore. Okay? They can't handle guns. They can't handle fucking spears. We're giving them Glocks. They can't handle it. Okay? Welfare state, direct democracy, all this kind of stuff. It's not working with diversity. We are now a multiracial empire. It's got to be governed like an empire now. It's either got to be governed like a confederation or an empire. But this is no longer a republic. Fuck all that. People talk about a republic if you can keep it. How do I translate republic into Cantonese? How do I translate republic into Igbo? How do I translate republic into Urdu? Can somebody get a translator here, please? A republic, if you can keep it. That's fucking over. We had a republic. Some people said the Pledge of Allegiance, and I know that's a modern innovation, but we had a republic when people saluted the flag, and there was a sense of familiarity and togetherness, a sense of commonality and coherence. There doesn't exist that anymore. People are fighting. People are bringing this fucked up stuff to our doors. And either the government's got to do something about it or you got to let the people do something about it. But it can't go on like this. I'm sick and tired of our options being you can either be murdered by a black person or you go to jail for 1,000 years for defending your life in the wrong way.
And there it is, perfectly articulated. We don't live in a republic. That is absolutely 100% factually true. We live in some quasi-dictatorship democracy. And we are either going to live in an empire, meaning someone's going to have to dictate from above. And if that person doesn't dictate from above and we continue down this road, it will be a land of violence, chaos, and lawlessness. America, why don't you get up out of your bed and make a decision on which way you're going, because it's coming here, if you like it or not.